Well, let's get some more on this tragedy. Now I'm joined by Transport Minister Mbalula. Minister, good evening, and thanks so much for your time. What a terrible tragedy, what a nightmare to be facing today. What do you know about this accident so far?
Well, what I know is that the bus driver lost control, and then that was it. But we follow the processes that will unravel as to exactly what happened.
Okay, well, I'm not sure if you heard just a few minutes ago. What we're hearing is that the bus driver was driving recklessly. It appeared to be an overloaded bus. What can you confirm from any of those reports?
It is not possible to do that. I do have those reports too. But from my level, everything must be done and confirmed in law properly. RTMC investigators are on the ground. And forensics are on the ground from the side of the province and law enforcement. We should get the report as soon as possible. 25 people died in this accident. And it's not business as usual for me. I want to know what happened. If ever the bus lost control because of the conditions of the road, whether or not the bus was not in a proper state and whether or not it was overloaded. From the number, 68 people in hospital, 25 dead, it tells you already that that is overload. There's no bus. And other bodies were still hidden in the accident. So we'll be there tomorrow. And I intend to follow this up and the other accident that took place in Limpopo during January 8, where I was told is brake failure. I'm still waiting for the report so that I can actually take action against whoever could be found to be wanting in this case.
Okay, so I mean, obviously this raises questions yet again about public transport, particularly in areas like this where we are often seeing people commenting, even today, saying the road conditions are not great, whatever, whether it's a problem with the bus, whether it's an unroadworthy vehicle, whether it was driver fault, but constantly we're seeing road conditions. People are just going to collect grants and they're never going to, nobody's going to see them alive again. So obviously that's going to form part, like you say, you're going there tomorrow, and these are all things that you're going to be considering.
Yes, I've already, my team is on the ground. Road conditions are not good, and there's nobody who can defend that. And that is why we've got plans and in our program of action to deal with the question of roads. In partnership with the provinces. This is a regional road. I don't deal with regional roads, but I intend in the long term to take over the roads because Sanral has built far better roads than anybody in the provinces. We know there is corruption. Money is allocated, disappear. A stretch of a road between Umtata and Engom is not finished. Somebody disappeared, nobody arrested, and then we have to come in and save that situation. It cannot be like that. I mean, we know these challenges, they are there, but that road was under construction, was being sorted out. I will see all of those things when I get there. Okay. But people have been complaining about that road, that it is a death road, just like the other one we're fixing in Gauteng. A Moloto Road that I took over and signed an agreement into action for its proper construction. Okay,
so that is something that you say in the long term you would like to take control of. Now we see that the rescue operations have been suspended for now. What kind of support is the department giving to these families, if any, at this point?
The support to the families is given through Road Accident Fund and the department. As a whole, RTMC is on the ground, and also the provincial department of roads in Eastern Cape. So tomorrow it will be post-mortem and all of that, and also looking at to how we can work together with the families during this difficult time.
Okay, well, it is too early, I suppose, to get more details from you out of this, but we hope to maybe get an update when you do get there tomorrow.
Yes.
You've got quite a bit on your plate at the moment, and I see this comes, it's been a rough couple of days. Just a few days ago, you were very cross about the Finance Minister not consulting you on cutting PRASA's budget. We had the issue with the trains in the Western Cape and Eskom. So what have you managed to determine? Where do you stand a few days later? Are you less angry? Are you talking to the Finance Minister? What's happening on that front?
No, you guys are misunderstanding. I'm not angry.
Okay.
I'm not angry. This is not my world. I am here to serve. All I was raising is that PRASA is faced with a cash flow problem, challenge, and of which we know that we've got the 18 billion rand unspent capital expenditure. So we are negotiating part of that money to come for operations in order for us to address the challenges that PRASA is faced with, some of which included the disruption we have seen in the Western Cape of buses in the afternoon, Eskom cutting electricity because of non-payment. So those are the challenges, autopacks and all of that. So I'll put it clearly to you that we've got a plan. We are not in the complaining room. I'm implementing through the administrator a detailed and rigorous plan to ensure that we turn around PRASA. On this Thursday, we are starting the refurbishment program of the central line. And then in the next week, you will see that Pienaarsport is up and operational, and we're closing down also the main line, which is, Mabupane. So there is a whole program revolution of capital expenditure that is kicking in and is being implemented by the administrator in PRASA.
So come next month and the time comes to pay the bill, we're not going to see what we saw happening last week. And have salaries been paid, by the way? There was a question about whether salaries would be paid when it came to PRASA in that same issue with Eskom.
All of those things, like I said to you, it's a broken place, have been fixed.
Have been fixed, okay.
They have been fixed in terms of operational expense to ensure that all of these challenges, we take them off our book of, or the list of things that we need to deal with. So we're hard at work there, and I can tell you that the plan we have put in place that is being implemented as we speak, talk about June, end of the year, that place will be a place where we reach stability. We will not address each and everything, but you need semblance of order in a place like PRASA, because PRASA is important for our people. It has been created for a purpose. But where it is, irregular expenditure, everything and so on, we are addressing all
corruption,
of it. Corruption,
all of that.
We are hitting hard, and then people are going to cry when decisions are taken. Decisions taken about individuals, not by me, by a competent person whom we put there to deal with those particular issues. So I'm happy with the path we're following.
Okay, well, I'm glad that you have no beef with the Finance Minister. I'll tell you why. As a Gautenger, you're supposed to be working together to sort out e-tolls. We didn't hear about it in his budget. We thought we were going to hear about it last week, but we didn't. You have all been tasked or given an order by the President to work together. And you have a plan. Treasury has a plan, but we haven't heard about it. What can you tell us at this
point? No, we will come to you.
When?
We had, it could be 2 meetings to come, but whenever the matter will feature according to the President's direction on the agenda, we'll come back and address the whole of South Africa. We're almost done. We're doing the final touches. Of course, Treasury called the final shots on this, and they look after our finances, our health, in terms of the finances of the country. So we've got to listen to them, and we've been engaging on this. And your plea that we must scrap e-tolls, we've been engaging with that. And what are the implications? The country is in a terrible state economically, and the e-tolls are not only a burden, but an albatross. And either way, if we do away with them, what are the alternatives for us in the long term? You're talking about roads. I've got to understand the role of private capital in the construction of roads in the long term. And if ever we can be able to take over the roads, even regional roads in the country, and at the end of the day, who pays for that? So that is a big discussion that is on the table is not as easy as people look at it. It is a Gauteng issue. It also have got an impact on everything in relation to the future and fate of roads in the Republic.
I'd like to read between the lines of what you're saying, but
we're going to have a big debate, and it's quite interesting. And
give me a date.
Easy.
Give me a tentative date.
We're not taking it easy. No, I can't give you a definite date. It could be next week. And then when we put it, but I will tell you that it will not feature next week. A week after, we intend to go back to Cabinet and finalize.
And if I can just squeeze in a quick question, Minister, about the AARTO Act and where we are now and what's happening and the concerns around the AARTO Act.
The AARTO Act will be in operation from July. That's where it is. And at the present at the present moment, we are building capacity around it, and we have done the pilot and everything. But in July, it has been signed by the President. In July, we go operational. And
what about the concerns around that? I mean, just looking just at some of the concerns, talking about like the Justice Project South Africa, and I'm sure you are aware of them, saying that this at the moment, leaves motorists guilty until they're proven innocent in this case. And what's to stop traffic officers from going out there and just making up traffic infringements so that motorists are forced, their hands are forced?
It is not possible. It is not possible. This is not a banana republic. This process is transparent, open.
But we've seen corruption when it comes to those issues.
Demerit system is going to be a point system. So it's not possible that, yes, we are not leaving any chance in terms of human error to this. So drivers will be protected, but equally, law enforcement is going to be very harsh for those who break the law.
Okay, we'll leave it there for now, and I know you have a lot on your plate. This accident, this tragedy in the Eastern Cape being the big one at the moment, but thanks for your time, Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula.